summertime's come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather.
Or drink with the wife. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens light. Drink it for peace, or drink it to fight. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens light. Go to bed at 8, or party all night. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens light. Athens light, Athens light. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens light. Enjoy Athens Light at Pizza on the Farm every Friday and Saturday. Stony Acres Brewing, Athens, Wisconsin. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light.
Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Midwest Music Hour, live from the living room. I'm joined this evening by Mr. Phyl Wickham. Oh, nope. You don't want to see him there. How you doing, Phil?
Good.
Welcome to the living room. How are you? Oh, you look fantastic. Look fantastic.
It's all this high pro glow.
you got a nice shine to you this evening. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm hoping that we're coming out there all right. And, I mean, you're seeing everything all right and all that sort of thing. So we're just going to pop the browser open and take a peek and see. Make sure y'all... Josh Stevens, Terry Schmidt, party on a pirate ship. Yeah. Who doesn't want to party on a pirate ship?
Right?
Welcome, welcome. And as long as we are not experiencing too many audio issues at this moment in time, then I guess I would say let's rock and roll with a tune, and we'll see how it lands, huh?
Sure.
Okay, thanks much.
Woke up in a Greyhound bus station. Must have been in the middle of the night. My pockets are empty, ain't got a dime, but my sweet little lady on my mind. Now, baby, I'm coming home. Now, baby, I'm coming home. I'm gonna be there before the dawn. Now, baby, I'm coming home. Got jumped last night right outside of Albuquerque. They took everything I had to my name, but I still got my baby. She's all I need, and I know she loved me just the same. Now, baby, I'm coming home. Now, baby, I'm coming home. I'm gonna be there before the dawn. Now, baby, I'm coming home. I've been rambling around for years now, just drifting from town to town. But I always got one thing, that lady got me, and she picked me up when I'm feeling down. Now, baby, I'm coming home. Now, baby, I'm coming home. I'm gonna be there before the dawn. Now, baby, I'm And when I get there, never will I roll. Now, baby, I'm coming home.
I like it. I like it. I like it. What's the name of that one?
That one is just called Coming Home.
And were you away from home when you wrote it?
No, actually, I was at home when I wrote that one.
Nice. Do you want to share any more about that song?
That was a song that was inspired from watching the Austin City Limits performance. Tom Waits from, it must have been like the late 80s, early 90s. Me and my wife Steph watched it on Christmas Eve one year. And for whatever reason, it just, the next day I wrote that song. And yeah, obviously with her in mind, but it was inspired by watching that performance.
Right on. A lot of times when you're, consuming somebody else's art, hearing a song that they wrote, watching a film that they produced, whatever that medium may be, looking at even, hey, for those who didn't know, this fancy graphic right there, Phil made this for the program for me. I asked him to help me, and he's just a genius. Graphic design work, one of Phil's many other talents as opposed to just music, But you find that when you're taking in somebody else's art and creation, that can be inspiring in so many different ways. So it's always cool that, when you're creating something, always kind of in the back of your head, well, maybe this is going to inspire somebody else to create something. Yeah, also,
definitely.
We've had a heck of a year. Last time we got together, it was right after you got married. We did a little session from the barn. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
things.
It was a great night.
Yeah, we had a good time. We're having a good time tonight too. How has it been going since then? How was your winter? How is life?
Well, life is great. I'm just loving life. Every day it just gets better and better, I swear. But the winter was slower, obviously, because of the virus and everything that's going on with that. But I still managed to stay busy with some other stuff that I had going on. I was doing some home projects and yeah, just still trying to keep it moving. And I kind of utilize my. It's kind of funny because I seem to at home I play more guitar now than when I was gigging full time and out playing all the time. The last thing I wanted to do really when I was sitting at home was play guitar, but now I've been playing a lot more guitar at home, and it's really helped. It's weird. I actually practice now, whereas before, I just played gigs all the time, and now I'm practicing and coming up with new cool stuff that I couldn't necessarily do live and in front of people, for the first time. But I get at home and I'm able to, kind of just get in my zone and test out different things and see if they work, and if they do, I'll bring them to the live setting. Really looking forward to spring though, and summer and warm weather coming back, and the outdoor gigs and festivals that are happening.
You have a lot of opportunities coming down the pipeline. Some things that you're excited about doing this summer?
Yeah, the whole summer is finally starting to kind of open up, and things are starting to fill in some dates on the calendar, which is great.
Right on.
Got a thing going on at the end of May, Memorial Day weekend out at All Aboard in Merrill, with our buddy Greg, who's putting that on, and that's something to look forward to. For years and years, I always played Melon Jam Memorial Day weekend, and in the last couple of years, since Melon Jam wasn't going on, I kind of felt lost on Memorial Day weekend. But it'd be cool to go play a festival with a bunch of my friends and stuff that is happening down in Merrill. So
Different vibe, totally different vibe. Melon, there's only one Melon Jam. You're wearing the shirt today.
I do have my
That's the
Melon
first thing
Jam
I
shirt
noticed
on.
when I walked in. I don't remember
Yeah,
I don't remember
sporting
what
the,
year that was, but I do remember it. And we had a really good time.
2000. What does it say? I don't know. Which year is it? 2009?
09?
I don't know.
No, it must have been after that. It must have been like 2015 or 16, I'll bet ya. I see Tin Can Gin was there, and I think they were only there the 1 year. I couldn't remember if Feeding Leroy was there that same year or not. But yeah, I remember when those guys came down for Melon Jam. I've been trying to talk them into coming for a couple years, and then was able to get them on the bill and bring them down there for that. And I remember I had just moved back from Duluth, so that must have, no, I guess I'd been back for a little while, a year or so. But I do remember that weekend I went up to Duluth because they were playing on the train, and I got to sit in with them and play some harmonica on the train. And then the next day, me and Trevor drove from Duluth to Melon Jam, and
Oh man.
yeah, it was a great
2015.
2015, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I thought.
Oh man.
Good times,
The best of times.
really good times. I don't think that was the year that you were sitting there blowing bubbles in your octopus costume, but that.
There were a couple of years where I was blowing bubbles in my octopus costume.
Well, I remember one year in particular, we had Rachel Hansen just cracking up on stage. Me and you were sitting there watching her perform, and I was sitting there all serious, like watching one of my favorite performers perform, and you were sitting there blowing bubbles and giggling, and it was just like we looked like the odd couple.
Yeah. I think they got that on. We made a bootleg, I think, that year of some stuff, and
Oh,
so
I had her
yeah, she's
got her
a
laughing.
bubble blowing octopus. Ah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, it was always fun over there.
Oh, will this festival include camping, you think?
I think he did have he did an event last summer too, and or maybe it was in the fall. I can't remember now. He did an event last year too, and I think there was camping there. He's got a big baseball field behind the place and stuff, so there's definitely some spots to camp. I mean, or you could always car camp too.
Yeah.
I always said if you lived in your car, you'd be home by now.
Best thing about living in a van down by the river, I'm at home and I'm on a river.
Right?
Wow.
Waterfront property.
True that. Well, were you? I spoke with Stovepipe Stevens the other week, and he was expressing how difficult this last year has been creatively in terms of new song writing and all that. Where do you fall on that line of things? You've been playing a lot more guitar at home? Has that been more musical exploration? Have you managed to, you write a couple songs throughout the year? Where are you at on all that?
I've been writing a lot musically. I haven't been writing a whole lot lyrically. I mean, I got a lot of different things that I've been working on, and I have like tidbits and stuff that like. There's a lot of stuff that's very tongue in cheek. I don't know if that I've written just to kind of. I've always used writing as a way to deal with things, and some of the stuff I might not be able to perform, and I mean, I'm not trying to get preachy or political, or I'm trying to just stay neutral and stay in the middle of the road. So some of those things that I've written are kind of just for me, but some of them I've been able to, I'm kind of reworking and taking out some things and putting some different things in there and like rewording certain things, and I just want to make music that is appealing to everyone, and I don't want to be pigeonholed into one frame or another, based on beliefs, and it seems like that's happening a lot these days. And I'm of the frame of mind where I don't much care what the next person believes, as long as if they're a good person and they're my friend, and then or if it's a good artist, and I mean, it's just all about the art, and yeah, kind of try to filter it out. So to answer that question, yes, I've been writing. It's been kind of difficult because my subject matter is a little tongue-in-cheek, and I don't know if I can really bring it to the table without reworking some of it. And some of it is, I mean, to be honest, I've had a hard time kind of writing lyrics in the last couple of years, several years since I've been with my now, who is my wife. It's kind of crazy. I used to kind of write all these sad cowboy songs and like kind of from the heart, and like these places that I'd been and different things that I had been experiencing, and you know, they were kind of all very down and tough to deal with, and that's kind of how I dealt with them, as writing. And now like life is good, and it's tough to like to write about that. I feel I've always felt like it's really hard to write happy, bubbly songs for me, because you know, I don't want to come off like I'm bragging or like I'm, you know, being pompous in any way, shape, or form. I am really happy and things are going great. And it's funny because like from perspective, when you're used to writing from a place of pain and heartache, it's kind of hard to just try to kind of switch lanes and write happy, bubbly stuff. So.
Just not in the cards, huh? It's like Neil Young once said, you know, I live up tempo and I play down tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. I think that was actually one of the things that I talked to gal Gracie Lou about when she was in on the program, and you know, she had just gotten engaged, and so was looking forward to that, and you know, the same type of things going on, like, oh, what do I do with these happy feelings? And I'm used to, you know, singing sad or writing sad or angry,
Right.
whatever, you know, name the emotion that is other than happy, and that's, you know, but that doesn't mean that they're not in there. You know, I think it's gonna find a different way out of you, and
Yeah.
just take a little bit more time to kind of just, you know, settle in, and because I don't know, I don't,
Right.
you know, I don't like to talk about myself too much. Of course I do, but you know, even then, you know, like you think about like a child being born, you know, like our son Elton or whatever, you know. Oh, what kind of inspiration comes from that, you know? Well, he doesn't have a song yet, but that doesn't mean one's not coming, you know, or
Right.
that, you know, it's
Yeah, and like experiences like that, like I've had people tell me that too. Like you have two amazing kids, like write about that, and it's like, you know, it's very that it's such a touchy subject for me. Like when it comes to writing about them, that like, you know, obviously it could be very easy because I could think of a million different things and emotions that I've dealt with, you know, in parenting them, and like, you know. But at the same time, like if I'm going to write them songs, it's gonna have to be like just epic songs, you know. And like I almost feel kind of intimidated at the whole idea of trying to write a song about them, because I would never want to represent how I truly feel, and you know, I want. And also, like, you know, how do you pour all these feelings and emotions that you feel with your kids into something like that, you know, into a 5-minute song, you know? So, without making it sound like, you know, kind of hokey or cheesy or something.
put in and insert cheeky cliche, right?
Right.
Oh, well, and I think too, yeah, I mean, a lot of good songs have been written about some of those subject matters, and
Totally.
it can be one of those scenarios where you think, oh man, how can you say it better than this person already said it?
Right. It's like Old Man Ludica. He the first time I seen him perform, one of the things that I really liked is he said that, you know, he's like, this is a song that I wrote for my kids. And then, you know, he played it and it was a great song. Old Man Ludica, he writes really great songs. And and afterward I got to talk to him. This was at Jack Pine many, many years ago, maybe like 2013. And I got to talk to him afterwards, and I told him, you know, I really enjoyed that song about his children, and that, you know, that must have been kind of hard to write, you know. And he said, you know, yes and no, you know, kind of the same kind of same thing I'm talking about is, you know, when you're feeling it and it's time, it happens, it comes out, and you find the right words.
For sure, for sure.
And I think now he's got many songs that he's written about his kids.
Yeah, it's probably, hopefully maybe it's like a faucet or something, you know. It's like once you turn it on, you know, you can kind of maybe just make it hotter if you need to, or make it cooler if you need to, or
Right.
you know, just make those adjustments or whatever. The first step, you know, it's always the hardest one.
Totally.
Could we get into another song with you? You got another song in there that you feel like sharing?
Sure. I suppose I could probably play this song. This is the first song that I wrote. many, 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 many years ago. Since we're talking about how it's hard to write about happy stuff. The first song I wrote was called Happiness.
Waking up with that smile on my face, dreaming about getting out of my place. It's been so dang long, been chasing that dream. Now I got me a plan, got me a scheme, and I'ma make it happen. Mixing up some screwgrass with a little bit of rap. Staring in the mirror at the face I've been slapping. Picking at the shell since it started cracking. Well, happiness to me is a healing record show. All sipping on a red stripe with my bros. Got no tolerance for scandalous hoes. All strung out tweak a suck and crank up the nose. Cause I'm trying to stay on a positive vibe. And I'm sick and tired of living inside a waste of time. Lyrics spit down by a friend of mine. Take away the grain of salt in a glass of wine. Cause I'm always trying to see the brighter side of y'all out. Look at yours and I'm out getting mine. Happiness is a bluegrass vibe, and knowing that the bullshit will all subside. Yeah. I can't help that I feel so at home with the cold in my bones. Hitting up spirit every time it snows and tearing up the slopes with my bros. And happiness for me is happiness for you, and kicking back with the Vickers brew. Staring out at that beautiful view, we're climbing up Ely's Peak after I had a few. And all the cool people I met, all the cool stuff that I seen. Go check out Graffiti Graveyard, Orangutan Tower, and you know what I mean. That big old lake, shrouded by mystery. Somehow the spirit of the lost souls gets into me. Puffing on herb that's always crystally. Yes sir, yes sir, Duluth is it for me. Keep the happiness level on high, never let my cup get dry. Take a look up at the sky and realize happiness is being alive. Yeah.
I'm not going to do the fast part. That was always Mike's role, was the fast part at the end. And I'd blast harmonica. I barely even played guitar in that band.
Just blowing harp.
And I started picking banjo at the end there.
So as I laid it out a little bit, but you know, when Ghost of Swinetown first got started here, when you guys first got together, I was identifying that as a major turning point in terms of being able to have this outreach and networking with various bands from out of town. You know, you'd always get the once in a while maybe headliner that plays, you know, this place or that place, or, you know, maybe some venue had some stuff going on. But in terms of, you know, the local musicians doing their own stuff, you know, at bars and whatnot, you know, it's tough to get a band from the cities to come and play it for a 4-hour show, you know, when they got to travel 4 hours and all that sort of stuff. And they're maybe used to doing like a 45-minute set or an hour and a half set on a bill with, you know, other bands from that city or whatever. You know, the Northwoods music scene is unique in some of those aspects compared to, you know, other areas or whatever. But yeah, when you guys first started throwing down shows, it was like bringing in all these awesome musicians from out of town who would then, you know, just join the bill for the night, and it became this really, it was a happening, you know, it was the thing that was happening at the time.
It was great, yeah.
It really, I mean, it almost feels like it set off this chain reaction of, you know, inspiring other, you know, creative people to kind of take note of that, and I feel as though, like the Art Start organization was just kind of, coming about, kind of, what are they celebrating, 10 years now, right now? Something
Crazy,
like that.
yeah. Well, that's about when we were doing that stuff at Jailhouse and putting on those shows. Yeah, we did some at our place as well.
Yeah, quite. There weren't too many places that we weren't, packing them in and putting
Yeah,
on
we've
putting
had
on
a lot of
shows.
fun all over town, really.
Did
many places.
I mean, when you were doing that, was that a notion like in your head, like, hey man, I can, these guys will be able to like play to a new audience and all this sort of stuff. I guess I don't know. I mean, there could be so many possibilities there, but what was going on in your mind when you're like, I want to bring, John Wayne and the Pain to Rhinelander and throw something at the Jailhouse, or Goulash or, Drew Peterson, all these,
Yeah.
all those, the list goes on.
Dustin
Too many
Thomas and-
banjos,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just all about, playing shows with our friends and fun musicians that we were going to these music festivals and stuff and playing, like a lot of them were from the Twin Cities area and like, in around Minnesota. And, we were seeing some really great music and we knew that, and we really wanted to bring that, we wanted to play shows with these guys and we wanted to bring that vibe here so that, the folks back home could kind of experience what we'd been experiencing with, all these great musicians and these, we thought it would be a really cool thing. And, if people would come, then we could show them a real good time. And man, did they come. Like it was, there was some of them shows were just crazy, and we had some really wild nights out there at the Jailhouse for sure, and other places, like I say, but Jailhouse was like our prominent spot. We set up there many times and always had a great time. So yeah, I mean, and because we bring our friends over here and they'd play some shows, and then they would invite us to come out their way and play some shows too, and it was a chance for us to get out of town and start reaching other audiences and reaching people in all around the region, and it was great. Worked out really well. Made a lot of great friends and a lot of great connections, and just had amazing great times always.
The question on everybody's mind is the reunion concert in store.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like we split up. It's not like we ended our band. Like if I feel that if Mike still lived here, we'd probably still be playing shows regularly. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to play with these guys whenever they're around and available. I mean, me and Bob, we try to play together whenever whenever we're on a bill together somewhere. Like it's always great to get some of those Dig Deep guys to sit in with me and play. And I mean, or just, even just Bob, like throughout the years, like we were able to still kind of play some shows together. And once in a great while, when Mike's available and wants to get up and sing some songs, which is usually the case when he's around, yeah, we're always down to throw down a reunion. We might have to maybe actually put something together here now that summer's coming around, and one of these days really throw another banger like that. It'd be a good time.
Right on, right on.
Are you down to play some bass? That's my question.
Oh, maybe.
We're gonna need a bass player.
Man, yeah, those are. Well, yeah, I think we maybe could. Are we gonna practice? Do we have to practice?
well, if I don't know what you would define as practice. We'll get together and we'll have some beers and play some tunes, maybe cook some food or something.
What key is this one going to be in?
Yeah.
No, that sounds like a hoot. I would love that. Yeah. In fact, if there's anything I can do to help make that a possibility.
I think it'd be really interesting. I think it'd be really great to do it, to do a reunion show and like, yeah, like really work out some practices and stuff. We did a reunion show a couple of years ago up in Duluth, and it was a blast. It was a really great time, and it'd be really great to do something like that again. And it'd be funny because, like, nowadays, like, we can actually play our instruments, and and we know more so than we did then. At least me, man. Like, I was so green back then. Like, yeah, it was something. I was able to learn a lot over the last several years, that's for sure. And I think it'd be really cool to try it out. Like, it'd be like Ghost of Swinetown version 2.0 or something,
Yeah, man. I think that it's cool to see your excitement, around like learning music, because just seeing your journey in that and how much you've grown musically and how much you just dive right in. You find like a dulcimer, and all of a sudden, you're on it and you're exploring it and you're having fun being creative with it. You've got the Chris Skinner, handmade flute,
Yeah.
and what a cool thing to, to try and play around with and get creative on.
That one's been really fun. I love that flute.
Yeah.
He makes them in all sorts of different keys too. I'm gonna have to get like a set of these flutes.
Oh, they're tuned.
Yeah, totally.
Dude,
Yeah, he's a wizard.
Skinner.
Yeah, he's a wizard. He really is.
Man, that guy is amazing. Yeah. No, it's I wonder if you thought that you would, if you thought that that's did you imagine yourself like going down that road like when you guys first started? Like, did you think you'd be where you're at now when you guys formed the Ghost of Swinetown?
I don't know. No, probably no, not really. I mean, I was really. I remember the first time we before it was even Ghost of Swinetown, Bob and Bob's brother Jake and Mike had a band called The Influence, and they were playing out at Friends or Frets. No, not Frets. That's in Green Bay. Friends. What was that place called out in Pine Lake? I think it was called Friends, wasn't it?
Friends, Spencer's Den.
Yeah, Spencer's Den, Friends. That they were playing out there on Friday nights when I first met Mike, and I knew Bob and I knew Jake a little bit. But when I first met Mike, and he told me that he was hanging out with those guys and he had a band with them, and he invited me to come play sometime out there, and I showed up, and I would just sit in and play harmonica, and Jake always had a djembe there, so I'd snatch that up and play it sometimes. Or, when they'd take set break, I would grab the acoustic guitar and try to play and sing that, like, maybe 3 or 4 songs that I could play and sing at the time. And eventually it was becoming like, something that was turning out to be really cool. And I remember the first time that because there was never like a payment agreement there. I think it was just, you guys can come play for drinks kind of thing. And
I'll dig in my pockets at the end of the night.
and then that's what happened. Like one night we were there all night, and we played, and like people were having fun. They were dancing, clapping, having a good time. And at the end of the night, she felt compelled to throw us each a little bit of money, and I got a $20 bill, and and drank all night for free, and was just like, wow, like holy smokes, like we'd have been just doing this shit. We'd have been just doing this at home, anyways, but. And it was crazy to me to actually, to get paid for doing something that I'd probably be at home doing anyways. So, yeah, and so I never had a clue that this would ever, become something like this. But it's like this is my 9 to 5. This is my full-time job now, and I absolutely love it. Like, I feel so blessed and so fortunate to be able to play and sing my songs and do something that I love, and it's not like a 40-hour-a-week kind of job. It's the kind of job, I mean, yes, I could put in that kind of time if I want to when it comes to like promotion and creating like posters and t-shirts and stickers and different graphic designs and stuff that go with it. I mean, there is other work besides just playing the gigs, but I'm basically only away from my family for a few hours each night, and I'm get to be back home by them most of the time, as long as I'm not like too far out of town. And that in itself is like what's made, I got tons of free time during the day that, my son, he's in kindergarten now, but up until now, like I've been able to spend like every day with him like it's summer vacation, you know, when we're always like out hiking or in the canoe or in the boat or fishing or, you know, just we get to really enjoy our time together. And I feel super blessed because I know that there's a lot of people out there working 40, 50 hours a week that barely even know their kids, and that's a tragedy. It really is. Like, I wish we could all stay home and be there for our kids and really, you know, teach them that there's a different way to live. You can support yourself with your art. You should definitely try to do that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a cool thing, great position to be in, you know, punching your own clock.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I don't, if this, you know, I mean, the toughest part is like, before the pandemic came, like, things were going really well. I mean, I had been, you know, doing this full time for the last several years, and, you know, it just kept getting better and better, and it still is. Now that things are starting to come back and stuff, and we're able to get back, I can tell, like, you know, the few gigs that I've been playing, like, people are really appreciative, and it's something that they really they miss. You can tell, and I think that there's going to be a great appreciation for this once it opens back up when we get to play again, and yeah, I mean, it's just it's something. It's a great thing to be able to do this, and I'm glad that that, you know, a lot of places are using their smarts and trying to keep people safe. And, you know, I mean, people, you know, I've been playing some shows that are indoor, but like the way that it's set up, I feel very comfortable. I don't feel like I'm really putting myself at risk so much, and that's really cool that, you know, venues are taking extra steps to try to keep people safe, but yet still provide the live music that we all need and, you know, yearn for.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a cool thing that they're able to do that in that capacity. And I think, you know, vaccines are rolling out. People are getting a little bit more, you know, comfortable, sort of, you know,
Yeah,
as much as one can, you know.
Definitely, you know, that's good.
People that never were uncomfortable never had to get comfortable in the first place to begin with. So
Right.
Oh, and you were working on a batch of recordings. You were hanging out with Drew Peterson, right? Making them with him up there in Minnesota at
Yeah, it's basically like 4 hours straight west from my house is where my good friend Drew Peterson lives, and yeah, we were working on some recordings at his house, and he actually, the last time I was out there working on recordings, he sent me home with a bunch of gear to set up and record at home myself, so that I can, you know, work on things, and I'm having him produce the album, so he's like, you know, kind of giving me pointers and helping me through the process. And, you know, it's nice to be able to have the equipment at home to work on it, so I can like set it up, and it's like, you know, just a real comfortable vibe. It's tough for me in a recording situation, like, you know, not really doing it that much. That you know, I just don't have much experience with that, and like, if I, you know, if I'm nervous and I get flustered and I flub a take or something, and we got to start over, like, I feel bad. I feel like I'm wasting precious time, you know, and when I got the recording set up at home, I can take, you know, I can just, not only am I super comfortable there, but like, and not really all that nervous, but like, I'm also able to, you know, do a million takes if I want to. And since I got the stuff, I've been like experimenting with all sorts of different like features that I got with the software, and I've been actually creating like dance music and stuff too, and that's been really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll have an album of that kind of material coming out very soon. I haven't decided. I might release it as an instrumental, just dance album, and then I might revisit it sometime and put some lyrics on it. Like, it's kind of like in the same vein as like Beastie Boys and Gorillaz and stuff like that. So I have a lot of fun with that stuff. That's really fun.
That's fantastic. Oh, Steph is on the chat. She wants to tell us that Milo wanted to tell you that he just put the Game Boy in the bag.
Oh, good job, buddy. Nice work.
And Tyler Voigt down there in Wausau is asking if you could play a Ghost of Swinetown song.
Absolutely.
That would be sweet. Yeah, let's get back into some more music, bud.
Just for you, Tyler.
What are you thinking about queuing up?
Happy St. Patrick's Day, buddy. Belated.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's your favorite holiday. The Irish song, I can't do that one, though. That's not radio friendly. I've already messed up by saying the S word.
We'll have to edit that out.
You knew you'd have to having me on this show. I got a mouth like a northwoods logger. What can I say?
Hey, if Stovepipe can do it, anybody can do it, you know.
Yeah. All right. This is also one of the first songs that I wrote.
When this life is over and I walk this world no more, bury me under a red pine tree that's somewhere near the shore. When my time had come for me to meet my maker, give my last request to the undertaker. When my time it comes for my spirit and body to part, the doctors say that my death will be from a broken heart. Traveled all over the world, just rambling like a dove. I looked high and low and everywhere, but I never found my love. And I know she'd play bluegrass at my funeral when I die. Take me up the North Shore way to the place where I will lie. And I don't want you to fuss and fight, and I don't want you to cry. Play me some bluegrass at my funeral when I die. Won't you see if you can get the Ferdinand boys to come? Throw it down on a bluegrass jam with Drew Peterson. You know the White Iron Band will be there if they got an open bar. Could end the night with Trample by Turtle sitting in with Charlie Parr. Now know when my day comes, sad I'll be all grins, 'cause the preacher knows just where I'm going for committing all my sins. Got a spot in that band down in the fiery hole. I'll be down there with Kurt Cobain, Shannon Hoon, and Bradley Noel. And we'll be playing bluegrass at my funeral when I die. Take me up the North Shore way to the place where I will lie. And I don't want you to fuss and fight, and I don't want you to cry, 'cause I'll be playing bluegrass at my funeral when I die. Play me some bluegrass at my funeral when I die. Take me up the North Shore way to the place where I will lie. And I don't want you to fuss and fight, and I don't want you to cry. Play me some bluegrass at my funeral when I die.
Such a good tune, man. That's like,
Thank you.
I think so many people relate to that in terms of just that whole sentiment. You know, maybe, of course, maybe not everybody wants to be buried under a pine tree in the North Shore, but just that whole sentiment about throwing a party, you know, and
Right.
having a good time and
Celebrate life.
celebrating life.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny because I remember the first time that song was ever recorded was in this back room right over here behind that beige looking door where the old studio used to be in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there in that door.
Back behind that.
Right behind me there across my right there.
Keep
right
moving
there,
it.
that
Keep
door.
moving it. There. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Now they can see it.
The
I got
beige-
I had the
beige
chat
door.
window over the door there so.
Gotcha.
But now it's there. It's
Yeah.
behind that door, right?
Yes, behind that door there's a magical place.
The famed sanctuary.
Yes. The Apple Love Studio. We recorded our first album, and you recorded it for us and did an excellent job.
Oh, thanks, man. It was just a little digital recorder. Not too much we could do. you know.
The technology's crazy how far they've come, you know. Like, I mean, even back then, for us to be able to do something like that, you know, I mean, it was just mind-boggling that we could, you know, people had to, like, you know, basically sell their soul to be able to cut a record, and we were doing it in our good buddy's, you know, spare bedroom. Just, you know,
Cutting up them beer boxes to make the
Yeah.
CD.
yeah, that was a huge hit. That was like the best part about that first album is that.
You got any PBR left? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, each box or each CD was different. Well, I mean, we had lots of PBR and, you know, the stuff that we were drinking heavy, but, I mean, you know, we also hit up liquor stores and stuff too, and like got boxes from them. So we had tons of like Strohs and you know, Hams and Blatts and New Glarus. There was all sorts of different ones. It seemed like, you know, everybody got a different one, and that was really cool. And then we printed out the little slip of paper to slide in there, which was like the liner notes essentially that had like the track titles and stuff.
Yeah. Epic.
Yeah, all DIY, man. Like,
Completely DIY.
Yeah.
You don't get much more than that.
no, you know, and that harkens back to the old, you know, the punk vibe stuff, you know, like, or the old like kind of like mixtape kind of, you know, era where you know a lot of punks were like, you know, recording to just cassette tape players and, you know, handing out their tapes at punk shows and stuff, like trying to get people to listen to their stuff, you know. And it's kind of where we were coming from, kind of what we were doing.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was you guys were playing. What festival was that? At Harmony Park. Was it a Memorial Day weekend, like a
That one, no,
Project Earth
that
thing or something? Or?
the one, I think the one that we recorded that recording.
Bella Madre.
We played at Bella Madre, and that was at the end of May, and then like towards the end of June was Project Earth, and between the end of May when we played Bella Madre, is just me and Mike, as was the original Ghost of Swinetown lineup. We were able to talk Bob into moving back from Madison to join our band because we had a slot at Project Earth. And yeah, so he came back, and within a couple of weeks, like we were versed on the songs, some of the songs like literally like were written in that month too. Like it was heavy work. Like we put it in there, and we to get that out. I remember like I think we were cutting that album like the week of, and we were leaving that weekend to go play that fest. So
Yeah.
I think we were making I think Bob was in the back seat literally making CD cases as we were rolling down the road to the fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, great times, man.
Well.
It doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago, but
Oh man, it's totally another lifetime ago. Though.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So, what is your timeline on your next release? Then you mentioned you got this equipment. You've been doing some stuff at home. You got any plans for got any plans for a date?
Yeah, well, I got all the tracks that I did. I think I got 10 tracks out at Drew's, and I'm going to go through those and see what I like and what I don't like, and if I'm going to keep any of those, or I'm going to maybe scrap some of them and redo some of them or add to some of them. It kind of, it's really weird. Like I really don't like hearing my vocals on. When I listen to recordings back of myself, I have a hard time listening to it. So like, maybe I'm just being overcritical on some stuff, but I might try to do some redos on some of those tracks now that I got the equipment at home and I can play with it a little more, and and I don't feel like I'm wasting anybody's time. But I really want to try to spend like all next week. Because the recording equipment I got is really nice, and it's not very much. It's kind of compact unit, but I don't have a very big house. I set that up in my living room kind of, and make my living room a studio while I'm doing it. And I mean, I've played with it a little bit, so I kind of am familiar with how I'm going to have to do it. And it's going to have to be a week that my son's not at home, because I mean, I'm going to set it up. I'm just going to leave it set up for the weeks. I'm going to try to hammer this out next week and try to get a bunch of tracking done, and then I can start sending it off to some of these other players that I'd like to get on it, and start getting feedback, and they can listen to see, if they, work out some parts. And then if they have the recording equipment and stuff at home, they could add to it, or maybe they could, come and do a session, if like I was talking to my buddy Harry Oak today about coming over and laying down some banjo tracks for it once I get rolling on it. And that's what we'll do, is I'll just set up a weekend of shows to we'll do like Friday and Saturday night shows, and then during the day we'll just like work on recordings and then try to get his sessions done, and then on to the next or whatever. I've never done anything like this. I've never produced an album or worked with recording stuff all that much, so like it's a real like learning curve, and hopefully I'm not like biting off more than I can chew by saying this, but like I'm gonna really try to get an album out by summer, of some form,
Awesome.
If nothing else, I got like 6 tracks already for that dance album, so I'll have new material out this summer. I just don't know what form yet, but
Dance party in the USA.
yeah.
Great. Looking forward to that. How about you got a couple more songs in you? I know
Yeah.
you got a jet here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm playing the jug tonight.
Playing a Little Brown Jug tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking about that album. This is a track that this is going to be the title track for that album.
Yeah, unless they just wanted to have you play virtually tonight, we'll hook them up with a link, put you on the big screen.
I don't know if Rusty would start paying me for that, I might do that from home.
There you go.
Well, the jug's only 2 miles from my house, so I could practically roll home from there. Yeah, this is the title track for the new album, and it's going to be called Dusty Eyed and Broken Hearted. Up this morning alone in our bed with a note on a pillow where you used to lay your head. White piece of paper written in red. Don't love you anymore was all that it said. Got up right then, went straight for the Jim Beam. Started to get drunk and wondered if it was all just a dream. How could you do that? I thought we were a team. How long you been working on your getaway scheme? Now I'm dusty-eyed, broken-hearted. Been at the bottom of a bottle since the day that we parted. And it seemed like we were over before we got started. Now I'm dusty-eyed and broken-hearted.
Well, I heard from everybody you were having an affair. Why couldn't I see it? All the signs were right there. Shattered my heart and you didn't even care. You left me wallowing in this drunken nightmare. Now I'm dusty-eyed, broken-hearted. Been at the bottom of a bottle since the day that we parted. And it seemed like we were over before we started. Now I'm dusty-eyed and broken-hearted. Now I'm out on the highway, just drifting day to day, looking for something that got lost along the way. Haunted by a memory that won't go away. Just another sad story, not much else to say now. Dusty-eyed, broken-hearted. Been at the bottom of a bottle since the day that we parted. And it seemed like we were over before we got started. Now I'm dusty-eyed and broken-hearted. Now I'm dusty-eyed and broken-hearted. Been at the bottom of a bottle since the day that we parted. And it seemed like we were over before we got started. Now I'm dusty-eyed and broken-hearted.
Phyl Wickham live on the Midwest Music Hour, right here from the living room tonight. A special produced at home program that we've been doing for WXPR for, just a little while now, I suppose. It'll be interesting when we can get back over to the station. Of course, everybody's looking forward to that. But as for now, it's exciting to be able to do this from home, and we're looking at probably this going to air this coming Tuesday or a week from Tuesday. I still have to figure out if I'm going to put Doug's program up. Last week I had those major audio issues and whatnot. I'm trying to determine whether or not I'm going to put that out over the air or not. But Doug, we may have to redo that. Happy to have some good luck with the technology with you tonight here, Phil. So you actually may get that slot for this coming Tuesday, and then I'll push Doug's for like the week after or something like that, so I can spend more time on that post-production to level out those guitar things that are going on. And oh man, it's been wild.
Yeah, well, it's all new stuff, you know. It's all new technology where it's like we're playing music in a whole new world.
Yeah, you did some live streams last fall, a little bit from your house, from the living room. Have those tapered off for you right now, and more of these live gigs, and more just working on music at home, and the recording and the playing and whatnot, practicing?
Yeah, I was doing. I did a bunch when in the spring of last year when the pandemic stuff was first starting and we were kind of all stuck at home. I did, several, I was doing it weekly for a while there. And then I think the last one I did was in the fall. I should be doing more. I realize that there's a lot of people out there that still aren't comfortable with going out and they really appreciate the live stream stuff. So I do want to do another one very soon here. I mean, I'm glad I got the opportunity to do this one today because I've been thinking about doing another one very soon for those folks who are fans of my music that aren't able to get out for whatever reason. Yeah, but yeah, they pretty much tapered off when I started getting back to the gigging and with all the other projects I've had going on at home and stuff.
Yeah. You did, just this last Sunday, we were able to experience the session that you did for Nicolay College, Art Start, and wxpr.
Yeah,
That was a really cool concert to see, and
for sure, it was fun to play.
yeah. What do you want to talk a little bit more about that experience and
Sure.
and how that went for you? Or
Yeah, it was great. It was awkward. It was really weird. I mean, playing to an empty theater is more frightening than playing to a packed one, in my opinion. I mean, as a musician, you kind of you feel out the crowd. That's how you kind of that's how your performance is gauged, and how like you kind of feel out the crowd and see, okay, well, they seem to be liking the faster ones more than the slower ones tonight, so I'll play in some more, that kind of vibe. You don't really have the opportunity to even, there was only two other people in the theater, the guy who was Nate, who was running the cameras, and Mike, who was running the sound, and that was it. It was just us, so it was a little bit awkward, but it was really cool, like I could tell I mean, I was honored to have the opportunity to grace that stage again. Last time I was there was several years ago, and we had a really good time that night too. But yeah, anytime I get a chance to play on that stage, it's really cool, and I was really thankful for the opportunity and happy that Nate and Mike were there to run the technical stuff. All I had to do was show up with my guitar and plug it in and go, Well, and I have my looper and my stomp as well. I mean, so I mean, I basically set up just like it was like a live gig, and I was told to treat it as such, and that's kind of how I did it. I didn't talk too much between songs. I'm not really a talker. I'd rather just play than. I seem to fumble over my words, and like we experienced earlier, I might say something that I shouldn't say. So, yeah. Other than that, it was great. It was fun.
well, because I had a chuckle. I was talking to Nate about it a little bit, and he did mention that you self-censored on one of your lyrics during the song, because as I was listening to the performance, and I heard the implied word,
Yeah.
and then the fact that it wasn't there, and you just didn't put it out there. You just omitted it from your.
Yep.
How difficult is that to not say a word during a song?
Well, yeah. I mean, that one was because that's the big one. The rhyming line in that song is truck, and so yeah, that's the big one. You definitely don't want to say that somewhere that you're not supposed to. It wasn't too hard, I just I knew that people would get it. I mean, anybody listening, I'm sure they figured it out.
It was implied, yeah.
Yeah. Like Nate's never even heard that song before, but he knew. I mean, he could tell that I had self-censored and took that part out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it sometimes I forget and I slip up, but most of the time I'm pretty good about it.
Has your writing style changed at all since you started?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I used to coming from a punk background and or a love from punk music and metal and stuff like that. I didn't really have much of a filter at all. I wrote songs that were that I prided myself on how offensive they were, and and I still there's still people out there who want me to play those songs, and there's still an audience that appreciates that stuff. But as a writer, I don't feel that's really serving me anymore. So I try to put more thought and a conscious effort into making it something that everybody can listen to, and not just a niche market or something. I mean, obviously, if I got something to say, I'm gonna say it. But you know, and if somebody doesn't like it, they just don't have to listen to it. But at the same time, like, you know, as I get older, I guess, you know, and I want to write things that, you know, I want to write songs that I can practice at home while my kids are home and not have to worry about them like taking it to school and singing it, you know.
Yeah.
That being said, I do have a new one that's in Spanish that you know, it's not really all that bad, but like it's not something you want your 6-year-old singing at school, and he picked up on it. And the only line that he remembers is the one that's like the worst too. So,
Do you want to sing that one?
I could. I mean, I do still, like I said, I still have songs that, like, you know, I'm trying to appeal to, like, you know, I try to be funny with it. I don't, you know, I try not to take any of this stuff too seriously, you know, like I always try to keep it lighthearted and funny, and yeah, I mean, sometimes yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, Corey is just tuning in. Apparently, he's got to get some sleep. He says he loves you. Nighty night.
Good night, Corey.
Maybe he'll stick around for this next song. I don't know. What's the title of this one?
What are we doing? Is this the new one?
I mean, you know, do you
Yeah.
want to?
Sure.
You don't have to.
I'll bust it out.
You can do whatever you want.
I don't really have a name for it yet, but
Song in Spanish,
yes.
number 1.
Cerveza in mota, burritos and putas. Cerveza in mota, burritos and putas. Siesta, fiesta, carnitas, fajitas. Siesta, fiesta, carnitas, fajitas. Margaritas, bonita, Lolita, señorita, rica, bonita, margarita, señorita. Carnitas, fajitas, señoritas, margaritas, señorita, margarita, frijoles en huevo. In mota, burritos and putas. Cerveza in mota, burritos and putas. Cerveza in mota, burritos and los putas. Arriba!
I love it.
It's one of those songs that just writes itself.
What was the inspiration for that song?
I don't even know. I really don't. I was just sitting at home one day and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be kind of cool." Yeah. I was just playing around with those chords and I just started. I mean, it was just like it had like a Mexican kind of feel to it, so I just started like, listing off the words in Spanish that I knew, which is, the most important ones. The ones that have a real good time if you ever lost in Mexico. you just give them that list, you'll be sitting pretty.
That's fabulous. Wow, what a treat, man! What a treat. If people are looking to find your schedule about you, you're on Facebook with the music page.
Yeah, I have a Phyl and Friends music page that I don't update nearly enough. I don't really like how they have their algorithms, and if I'm not a paying subscriber booster dude, then they'll just bury my stuff and nobody sees it anyway. So I don't use it that often, but I need to start, because if people are out there looking for it and they go to my page, they'll see it. It bugs me that if I post it, it's not going to end up in anybody's feed unless I'm paying for it. So
You anywhere else like Bandcamp or SoundCloud or anything like that?
Yeah, I do have a SoundCloud. I haven't even thought about that in a million years, but yeah, there's some old stuff on there, some goodies, yeah, for sure.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do some exploring and some resurrecting of those outlets there for your media, if you will. Is there a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
Far Out.
Yeah.
Are you active on that one?
I haven't posted anything to it in a while, but yeah, there's a handful of videos on there. I'll be uploading my concert from Nicolay to it, and then if I have a video recording of this, I'll probably put this on there too. Not that I mean, people can watch it as they're at their leisure. Then watch 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, whatever.
Oh, for sure.
Not like you have to sit down and watch the whole program. Or whatever.
Well, that's that sweet video that Andy Summers helped make of the Cold Night in Plainfield video is probably up there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's on there.
Nice.
I believe it's on my. I think so. Pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's out there. We share it every Halloween.
Not only is it out there, but it's out there, right?
Yeah, it's out there.
Pretty out there circumstances surrounding all of that. But
for sure.
Yeah, I know Tyler had mentioned that earlier. He's like, you probably won't be playing that one tonight, huh?
No, I won't be playing that one tonight. But that I am very proud of that song. Like even though it was in my younger days of songwriting, I told a story that a lot of people aren't telling. And from a perspective that's not a very very popular one. Yeah, I mean, and like the video turned out so incredible, and like in your work, you recorded it. We recorded it here behind that beige door, and in your work on the fretless bass and stuff on there too, like really just for the audio really set it off, and then Andy's vision for the video was just amazing. Like, yeah, I couldn't have paid for a better video, and what a great experience to be with my the whole collaborative effort was all dear friends, and it really worked out really cool, and it's something I am very proud of.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, and so we'll have to see. Yeah, we got to share more links. We just have to share all the links and all the likes, and it's just all about spreading the love and all that sort of stuff, And what a time it would be to be able to get back on another project with those guys, And even
definitely.
now, as skills increase and as technology gets better, and
totally, yeah,
all down the line there. Could I just ask for one more and then send you on your way? Is that okay? I mean, I'd keep you here all night if I could. You want to just stay for the night? Well,
yeah. Well, what time is that? How much time we got?
We're looking at 8:23. Maybe a quick one. I got just enough stuff to sort of cut, and yeah.
In case you had to cut out that
Do
Spanish song, is that one not radio friendly?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it clearly defined that it's only curse words in English that can't be broadcast? I'm not sure. And were there any curse words in there?
I don't. I mean, is that a curse word? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, how's it defined? I'd have to. We'll
I
have
mean,
to call
like I said,
Kropolowski.
I don't think it's necessarily a curse word, but it's not one that you want your 6-year-old singing in his kindergarten class. You know.
Well, it's gonna be, it'd be aired on a Tuesday night at 7, so nobody ought to be in a kindergarten class at that time.
Right.
It's not
but,
like.
but like I said, when he hears me playing it at home, I hear him singing it later that day, and he's like, "Oh no." I always tell him, like, you can say what you want to around me, buddy. You can curse, whatever, say what you want to around me. But I always tell him, like, you got to watch your mouth around the ladies, man. They don't like that. They don't like it when you're talking vulgar. So that's how I tell them, when you're with the guys and you're at hunting camp or fishing, say whatever you want, but just make sure to watch your mouth around adults and around, women folk.
Be a gentleman.
Exactly.
Be a gentleman.
Exactly, because they don't like that.
Yeah, no, of course, unless they're like Calamity Jane or something like that, And
Yeah.
then it
She
might
put
be
my
okay.
vocabulary to shame.
So many of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do one more. What do you want to hear? Is there one in particular you want to hear? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a short list. I've got a short list of things. I guess I kind of like to wrap it all up in a nice little package there with the program and everything. Talking about those musical influences that, punk rock and Tool and discovering, alternative bands and stuff like that. But then, your Clowns and Brown.
I don't think we can do that one.
Anyway, it's, I guess, you, like you mentioned, listening to the bluegrass show with your Gramps and, getting exposed to different musical genres in that regard. And, we were talking about Tuck Pence earlier.
Yeah.
Is the Lookout Mountain in the cards?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, totally. You can do that one. I was honored to get to play this song at his benefit. Was that last year, the year before?
Ooh.
It was before the pandemic.
Yeah, springtime before the pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
The Campanile Center.
Yeah, I was thankful that you allowed me to come up there and play it with you, and then next thing you know, like,
Allowed you. Come
Dan
on.
Lincoln's up there playing banjo and Tuck's up there singing, and I'm like up there with like my heroes, and the cable on my guitar was shorting out. And the funniest part about that is I was backstage getting ready to go out, and I was talking to Dan Lincoln, and he was talking about, he was looking at my guitar. He's like, "Oh, that's a nice guitar." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's a Road Warrior. I've been beating this thing up all over the place. For the money, you can't beat it." And then I go out and have problems with it. And at the time, I didn't know if it was the guitar or the cord that was messing up, but it was cutting out. And yeah, it made me super nervous to be on that stage for such a event and playing a song. This is a song that was written by Bobby Bear, I believe, and Tuck had a version of it on his Heritage album, and my grandfather had that album, and that was how I got introduced to Tuck's music, was through my grandfather, and he really loved the Civil War and anything to do with the Civil War he was all about, and he loved Lookout Mountain. It was one of his favorite songs, and so when I first started coming around and meeting Tuck and hanging around, I used to request that song every time. I still do if I think of it. But so yeah, when it sounded like it was something I could do, is go up and play, this was the song that I knew I had to do, and I learned it literally within a week or a couple days. Tried to figure it out, and like I said, I was super nervous, and I feel like I play it a little bit better now, but I'll let it rip.
Right on.
November of 63, high over Tennessee, we were holding Lookout Mountain. Couldn't see down through the clouds, but there was not any doubt there were Yankees there beyond the counting. Union guns began to roar, firing up through the valley floor, through the mist. It looked like lightning. Muskets loud and blank, up through the fog they came. I will not lie, Lord, it was frightening. And the chaplain said, boys, we're up so high. If you listen, you can hear old Gabriel's trumpet sounding. And heaven's just a step away for the brave man who will die on Lookout Mountain. Our cannons could not fire straight down the mountainside. Them Yankee boys, they drew closer. The odds were 6-1. Then the captain turned and said, son, can you hold on? And I told him, no, sir. In the driving rain with the powder gone, we sent boulders crashing down around them. But well, we done our best, but they would not turn. No, we could not hold them off for Lookout Mountain. And when our hope was gone, we thought of the folks back home, and if we'd run, surely disgrace them. There's just one thing to do. Oh, as the bullets flew, I said a prayer, and I turned and faced them. But when they shot me down, there was no pain. In the darkness, one more rebel heart stopped pounding. And by the morning light, we were glory bound, for they could raise the Union flag over Lookout Mountain. By morning light, we were glory bound, for they could raise the Union flag over Lookout Mountain. I haven't done that one in a minute, but I still remember it.
Awesome.
Love that song.
Thanks so much, Phil. Phyl Wickham, live from the living room here. It's a special session of the Midwest Music Hour. Want to thank you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thanks for supporting Community Public Radio, WXPR. And thanks for supporting music and the artists behind the music, guys like Phil. And
thanks for having me. It was a great time.
Glad to have you. Glad it worked out, and what a fun time. Thanks so much. Good luck with the gig tonight.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody. Good night. We'll miss you. We can't wait to see you again. We love you. We have a... If that's not goofy, I don't know what is.
Right?
All right. Well, yeah. Be sure to take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll catch you again in the hopefully not too far distant future.
Peace. Have a great night. Be well.